Now we'll work on our second in-between pass. So here's where we do some fine tuning, getting the timing and spacing just like we wanted of when certain actions occur, and adding extra poses to bring out the animation a little bit more, and so forth. Okay, so we'll hit play on our animation to see where we want to add our adjustments, want to make our adjustments. And we'll start from this beginning segment. I think that the character goes into his extreme pose here a little bit too slow, so let's adjust the timing on that. Okay, so we'll go to our facial animation preset. Okay, once we get there, let's go ahead and do our adjustment. So we'll select all of the control curves that make up that extreme pose. Okay, with all of them selected, let's now go to frame 22 and move that up a few frames. Let's move it to about frame 18. So when we hit play now, notice our character really snaps into that extreme pose, and it's not too much of a snap. We want to stay away from too much snappiness, but we got that natural snap going on. Okay, alright, so the animation is looking a little bit better now from those tweaks. And I think we need to select the blink controls as well and adjust those. Okay, so let's also move up the blinks. Go to frame 22 and move them up also to frame 18. Okay, alright, so that's looking better. And we could also adjust the exaggerated blink that occurs just before our character goes into his scared pose. So let's do that. What we can do is go to about frame 9, and we can deselect the blinks now, and we'll just add a few tweaks on the controls, on our facial controls, like bringing up the upset sad a bit. Okay, and bringing up the shot control as well, just slightly. Okay, we can go to our, let's go to our twitch controls, bring those down all the way. Okay, so when we scrub through our animation, here's what we get. Our character now, just from doing those tweaks, now the timing and spacing is adjusted when our character goes into that extreme pose. Okay, and it's looking much better now. Alright, so we'll just continue making our adjustments, and we want to keep our story in mind as well. Remember, this guy, he's like a commander, and maybe he looks over to his right and sees this huge mess. Then he gets upset, he looks over to his left and tries to figure out who did it, who made the mess, and then maybe someone enters the scene who he hasn't seen in a while, so he looks over and he's like, hey, how you doing? Okay, so we're going to keep that little story in mind. Should just add a little bit to this animation. Okay, so let's work on a moving hold now. Okay, work on more subtlety as well of this this first segment. So what we can do is add our moving hold, or add a subtle pass, we can say, on frame 35. Now on frame 35, let's do a few tweaks, like with the twitch controls. Let's go ahead and bring them down a little bit. Then we could also bring down the upset sad control a little bit. Maybe bring up the shot control a little bit, like that. Adjust the right snare. Let's bring that down some. Okay, and we can get the upset sad, or the smile frown control, and let's bring that down a little bit, just slightly. Okay, so we got this nice subtle moving hold going on. And now let's go to frame 45, where our moving hold ends, just before we get to our upset look. And now we'll bring up the smile frown control like that. Okay, and then we could bring down the twitch control some. We'll also bring down the upset sad control. Okay, as well as the shot control. Let's bring that down some too. Okay, and could get our snare in there. Bring that down a little bit. Okay, let's now do a play blast to see the adjustments that we've made. So go to our shot cam, hide our curves, and do a play blast. And I'm just going to pause the video, and here's a play blast. Okay, so notice just from doing those simple tweaks how much it has improved our animation. Okay, now our character's face is moving more lifelike, more believable. Okay, so what we're going to do is start adjusting our upset. Okay, getting the timing right on that. So let's do that. Let's stop our play blast, close it out, go back to our facial animation preset, and start tweaking. Okay, and we want to figure out how we want to adjust the timing. I think it can also be a little bit faster of when he gets into his upset look. So let's select all of the controls that make up that expression. Okay, we'll get the snare instead of the right snare for now. Okay, and then also the jaw control. Then we'll go to the frame that has his upset expression, and let's middle mouse button click now on about frame 54, and we'll hit Shift W. So now our character gets into his upset look a little bit faster, but we can make a few more tweaks on it. Okay, a few more tweaks on our pose here on frame 54. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and select the right snare control now, and we'll bring it down some. Okay, and we'll also go ahead and we can bring down the upset sad control a bit, as well as the shock control. So he's going to squint his eyes and then open them up by the time he gets to his upset look, his extreme pose for the upset look. Okay, and let's see what else we could do. Let's also bring up the smile frown control a little bit. Okay, see if we could adjust the snare too a little bit too. So we can bring that up slightly. Alright. Okay, so that's coming along. Alright, let's now also do a moving hold that's going to improve the timing and spacing of when our character goes from the upset to his happy expression. Okay? So what we're going to do is go to about frame 86, and on frame 86 we'll again select all of the controls that make up that expression for now. Okay, and once we have them selected, we'll now middle mouse button click on frame 99 and press Shift W. So now look at the adjustments that are made just from doing this simple tweak. Let's actually view that through Play Blast so we can see a more accurate representation of our animation. Okay, so we'll go to our shot cam, and we'll hide our NURBS curves and kick off a play blast. And I'll just pause the video, and here's the play blast. Okay, alright, so notice our animation is looking much better with those adjustments, and the timing is much better for when our character goes from his upset to his happy. Okay, so around this time here, we're going to have a little bit later on, we're going to have the eyes look more back at us, like we're the person that the commander here hasn't seen in a while, so he's going to be pretty excited to see us. Okay, so let's continue making our adjustments. We'll stop this now. We can close out our play blast, bring back our NURBS curves, and continue doing our adjustments. And the adjustments we're going to make now is on the smile, okay, on his happy expression. And what we're going to do is have our character, after his blink, we're going to have him go into more of a softer smile. Okay, so let's go to our facial animation preset, and we'll adjust the smile a little bit, and we'll also adjust the blink as well, because notice his eyes are not blinking, so we'll need to adjust that. But let's do this adjustment first. So let's go to about frame 114, a little bit after his blink, and we'll just simply bring down the upset sad control a little bit and the shocked control as well. Okay, so now he's got a warmer smile. And let's also adjust the blink now. So we'll go to about frame 109 where the blink occurs, and we'll bring down his shot control like that, and we'll also bring down the upset SAT control. Let's bring that down a little bit. So he's blinking now. Okay. Let's now do a play blast to see the adjustments we've made. So go back to our shot cam, hide our NURBS curves, and do a play blast. And again, I'm just going to pause the video. And here's the play blast. Okay. Alright. So our animation's looking much better now from those simple tweaks. Okay, we've got his expressions looking more lifelike, more natural. And what we can now do is move on to the next lesson, which is going to be our final pass. This is where we do our final fine-tuning, where we put the icing on the cake and really get the animation finished up. So that's what we'll do in the next lesson.